One of our agreements was that she would drive the Babito doctor appointments. That was one of the agreements that we had as part of her being a nanny for our child. And obviously, she committed to something that she couldn't do. Miss Yates, you have a tape with you, I see? That's correct. What is that tape going to show me? Well, what we had done is this. Just tell me, Hat, it's going to show me this particular tape. Each day we had videotaped. The most dramatic tape was not on the final day that we fired her. I had informed her in the morning that what? You're not answering my question. What is that tape of? It shows her leaving baby on the couch and saying, "Don't fall off. Don't fall off." And she leaves the room, and it also shows her throwing the infant into the air. Throwing the infant into the air in an anger or playfully. Playfully, however, it's medically fragile. She knew that going into it. We explained to him he had major surgery, 2.5 months spare. She took over his care. But nothing that you're going to show me there indicates abusive behavior. You're absolutely right. Because, okay, we had copied it over, and this just shows the vantage point that we had. It also had sound so that we could. Here are things that were going on through the house. There were some days, 2 days. In particular, she let that baby cry, our child cry, for over 3 hours at one time. This is not feeding him. What day, Miss Yates? What day? Okay. This was on Wednesday and on Thursday. Thursday in particular was the worst day she had asked to do our house. Judge Judy, listen to me. Okay, Miss Yates? Every time a parent has to leave a young child, especially an infant, with a stranger, there are always trepidations. You're never sure about what's going to happen. You are absolutely entitled to herein. Fire the caregiver of your choice, whether you have reason or whether you don't have reason. In this case, clearly, according to you. You had just cause to let her go for the following reasons. You had tape and you weren't satisfied with her performance, and then subsequently, you received a background check which suggested to you that she was less than forthcoming with regard to what her background was. And even if you hadn't gotten this background check, according to you, you would have let her go. Dramatic music, is that correct? You did allow her to remain in your employ. And you went to work Tuesday after you saw the tape, Wednesday after you saw the tape, Thursday after you saw the tape, and Friday after you saw the tape. You went to work, and I assume you don't work for nothing. So you got paid, right? Correct? And you said to me, I didn't want to risk my job, right? That's absolutely correct. You have to pay her for the week she worked it for you. You know what, Your Honor? If you had let her go on Monday night after you viewed the tape, she would have had absolutely no cause to complain. But the fact that you permitted her to stay with your baby for that entire week, despite the fact that you and your husband were coming home every night, right, sir? Yes. And watching the tape, it is unreasonable for you now to withhold her salary. Judgment is for the plaintiff in the amount of $250. That's fine. Did she, in fact, buy food for you and lay out $7? Yes, but we had agreed at $700 a month. She had miscalculated. She said $250 a week. It was actually $175 a week. She called me to tell me that the amount was $250 on the phone. I didn't come up with that amount. I'm awarding you $257. That's fine. Great. I want to say something to you. Look at me when you have a young child. You're supposed to be very cautious. And I'm not suggesting that Miss Earlius not a good caretaker for children. I'm not making that judgment here today. All I'm saying today in today's case is these people utilized her services for a week, and they have to pay her. What I'm saying to you is you may be perfectly satisfied with her as a caregiver for your 5-year-old. You have to be more prudent in the process that you use for selecting a person. You're a parent, and your primary responsibility is to be to your child. All right? So whether it's this Ladir, some other lady in the future who's going to take care of your baby, do your own background check. You don't call her mother. To find out if she's a nice person, I assume that you have somebody else taking care of your baby now? My husband and I are taking care of him. We alternate working. Sometimes that's the only way to do it. Maxie, it's the only way we know for sure. And let me tell you, that baby is absolutely delicious. Thank you. It's maybe worthwhile. Thank you, Your Honor. Good luck. Thank you. Court officer parties are excused. You may step out, gavel thumping dramatic music.